live. This is the No Type Podcast, a podcast about everything. Let's get this show on the fucking road. What is the first topic? Oh, it's Battlefield 2, right?
Battlefront 2. Basically, EA shit the bed, and it finally blew up in their face, it looks. And I'm part sad and also part happy. What makes me sad is I think that at the core of the issue we had a fantastic game. We're all Star Wars fans. We're all video game fans. I think we could have loved it. But they made it in a way where it's basically a casino for your 8-year-old kid's bedroom. And they fucked it all up. And it's just sad of what could have been.
Yeah, like I think somebody did the math to do it without doing any of the loot boxes would take something like 4,000 hours of game time.
Correct. I read the same thing.
Yeah, it's if you want to get enough like if you don't play online, if you want to get enough points to unlock a crate because they lock your offline points. Where's my goddamn? If you want to get enough points to unlock a crate and you're playing offline, you have to play for 8 days straight because they put a cap on how many points you can get playing offline. So
that's true.
They put a currency cap on you for offline play, which is so fucking stupid.
It's just like a damn mobile game.
It is a mobile game.
Exactly. It's like a cell phone game.
The difference is they took that model that you mentioned. The big issue is that was free to play and then basically pay to win. The reason nobody got mad at that though was people would give you games for free. And if you want to give money and get it advanced, you can. But at the core, it was at least free to play.
Yeah.
This is a AAA title where
piracy.
You have to pay $60 entry fee. Then you get to buy the $40 season pass. And then you get to just buy all these little cards to pump the loot boxes, which is essentially a slot machine.
No, EA has hijacked our fucking favorite things from childhood. So now we can't just enjoy games with the things that we had from childhood. Now that we make money, we have to pay out our fucking asses. You're talking about, what, $70, $80 for the full game?
Yeah.
That's just the game.
And then to get fucking the cards that you need, the star cards, you gotta bust out money for that shit. So you're talking about spending over $100. And that's gotta be what their fucking goal has been for a long time, is like, if we sell a billion games or a million games this year, but we can get them to spend $100 on every game. That's like $100 million fucking dollars, which is $1 billion, right?
Yeah.
That's $100 million is $1 billion, right? Or is it $1,000 million?
It's $1,000 million.
It's $1,000 million. So they could probably make a fucking billion dollars a year. Yeah. That's insane. Their stock dropped $3 billion, and that's a drop in the bucket. Like
it's still up on the year.
It's still up. Fuck, it's never gonna go
up like
down.
35% on the year.
Yeah, it's up
stupid.
35% on the year because fucking kids, man. Because fucking kids. There's always more kids. Kids want video games. Therefore, always trajectory fucking up, man.
Yeah.
And if you want an example of what we're talking about, actually, of all people, Jack Black, I forget, it was on one of the late night shows. Maybe it was Tonight or with, one of those. Anyway, he started talking about this, and his kid and basically his family was a victim of their scheme. His kid racked up a $3,000 bill
God damn.
on one online game.
Jesus.
Because of this stuff, all the add-on stuff, all the loot box stuff, and at the time, like, they didn't know what was going on, and somehow the kid, I'm not like even accusing the kid of doing anything wrong because he's a kid.
No, yeah, he's just pulling
he doesn't get it. He's 8 years old, or 6 years old, maybe 10, whatever. But this company extorted $3,000 out of a kid.
Yeah.
Why the fuck do you think that they do that? But why the fuck do you think that kids have their own cell phones now? Because that's how they fucking got their own cell phones. Because if they didn't have their own cell phones, they used as parents and they buy a shit ton of shit. Because there's nothing stopping you on the Apple or Google store.
Yeah.
You just hit buy and you buy the shit if there's a credit card attached
Buy
to
it and send your parents the bill.
There's no authentication. It's like, boom, purchased. It doesn't fucking make a difference. So they get their own fucking
Yeah,
devices.
they're not going to make you jump through hurdles to spend money. That's for sure.
No.
They're going to make it as easy as possible so even a kid can do it.
Yeah.
It's just disgusting because like when we were, we're all in our 30s now. We all grew up with video games, and it was something that was so much fun and enjoyable. And new systems come out, you're so excited. New games come out. To some people, it was a really big deal. Others might not care, but you should care about this because you might have a kid that has an Xbox that's actually a slot machine.
Well, it
in your
doesn't
bedroom.
stop there because it happened to fucking Need for Speed too, right?
There's a
another
lot of
EA
other
game.
games.
Yeah.
There's
another
one
EA
coming out
game.
called Anthem that's just a complete cancer.
It's supposed to be like Destiny, right? Anthem.
Oh yeah, that's the one that they took the Mass Effect people and put them on.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about it, but yeah, it's basically that. But everything's pay to win. Everything's pay.
I just don't
extra.
trust anything EA puts out anymore.
No.
I haven't trusted that shit for years. It's
I
like
got-
Valve is the only one who's fucking decent
I
about
got
shit.
so fucking burned on Andromeda that I was just like, I can't.
Oh, that
I
game
can't-
never got any better.
Oh god, it is terrible.
Well, apparently apparently the fucking Star Wars game is shit too. Like the actual game is shit. So
Battlefront. You talk about this one?
yeah, about Battlefront, and they're like it's terrible. It lags. The system's fucked up because it's based off of buying crates. And one of the things they said in the AMA they did on Reddit was really fucked up. Is they're like, well, how come? What was it? Why are the point levels so high? Why is it so high for you to be able to cash in your points for a crate? And the devs are like, well, we wanted to keep it fair because if the points were easy to get, then you'd have people going forward way faster. And then somebody was like, well, you can just buy a fucking crate anyway, so why does that fucking matter? And I was like, yeah, you have a really good point there. Why the fuck does it matter? So,
Well, they want you to feel that sense of pride and accomplishment. Yeah, that's
For
what
getting
we're
a
all
$20
about.
Darth
Pride and
Vader.
accomplishment here, Jimmy. Pride and
It's
accomplishment.
So stupid. It's so stupid.
You know, when you grind for 3 fucking weeks to unlock one lightsaber, that is an incredible feeling of pride and accomplishment.
Oh god. See, this is what kills me. It's a Star Wars game. You out the gate, you can't play as Luke or Darth Vader.
Oh, you can. You give them $2,000 and you get an entire game.
Well, everything's based off of the currency system,
Yeah.
so in order to play any character, you have to get the points to put toward a character to play for a limited amount of time. So you didn't see that in the Donkey video? In the Donkey
Oh, yeah,
video,
yeah.
you have to earn You have to earn character points that you can then spend to play a character, and then it shows him in the last 10 seconds of the game as Boba Fett, and he's like, "I just got him!" And then the level ends. So he burned all his points for no fucking reason.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
So I mean, I don't know. Like, I think currency has its place in video
Yeah.
games, but I don't think the game should be currency based.
Exactly.
I agree, because I'll be honest with you. I don't give a shit if it's cosmetic. I understand capitalism. I understand profit and
Oh, this
running
is 100%
business.
capitalism.
Oh, yeah.
This is
But
100%.
there's a limit, and when you basically, if you make a game and you put a bunch of downloadable content that's cosmetic that people can pay for, nobody's really going to give a shit because it doesn't change the game.
Counter-Strike.
And when you make it where you have to pay for extra weapons and extra armor and extra characters that can come wreak havoc on people, well, essentially the game is no longer about fun
Right, that's
and enjoyment. It's about you frustrating me to the point where I give you my credit card to get to the next level.
Right,
And then you
that's-
frustrate me more to get my credit card again.
Right,
Like,
it's like
fuck you!
It's like
No!
Counter-Strike does the superficial bullshit. Team Fortress did it.
It's all about the hacks.
What about the fucking new game, Overwatch? Do they do shit like that too?
So
Or is theirs like
it's a little bit. It's all cosmetic loot boxes.
right?
Completely. Cosmetic.
Which is your choice to look cool in the game. It has nothing to do with. And they got busted on running a fucking Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike got busted on running a fucking
Those casinos?
racketeering. Yeah, racketeering
yeah.
for what they were doing is they essentially applied value to the updates in the game, and through that, the people fucking could basically bet on those. And so they would do these betting game sites where you would go to the website and then you would bet on what he's going to get out of the loot box.
Are you serious?
Yeah, shit like that. And then
it
they
was
would sell them.
completely rigged.
And it was completely scammed. They had all these fucking Java
Jesus.
systems running that would basically predict what they're going to get. People would like invest in the wrong thing or bet on the wrong thing on the website, and then they would get a ton of money. A ton of people got caught in it. FaZe got caught
Yeah,
in it,
yeah.
which is a fucking YouTube group. A bunch of different people got caught in it, and they were hit first. And what's fucked up is EA saw this and decided to still do it.
Yeah.
They are fucking crooks.
Oh no, they
They
had
are
meetings about
slimy,
this a
dude.
year or two ago, and they're explicitly stated that there's to be completely honest with this, there is a risk of this blowing up in our face to the point of negative media attention or possible litigation, which even if we win can still be extremely costly.
Well, fucking
So, like,
Hawaii.
they know what
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
doing, but they're willing to take that risk anyway.
Hawaii called
That's
them on
fucked
their
up.
shit. Hawaii called them on their shit. Hawaii was like, "Fuck you.
That was
this is
amazing.
gambling for children, and we're going to investigate you."
And Belgium.
They
And
can.
Belgium.
Yeah.
Thank God Belgium did something.
They straight up said EA is like Joe Camel.
Yeah, it's
Whoa,
fucking Joe
that's a good
Camel.
point.
Well, no, but he had a good point because like we were sitting here looking over the internet the other day, and one of us came across an article and sent it to our little friends text group. But basically, it was some politicians in Hawaii that basically what Jimmy was saying is. This is not about a video game for fun. This is essentially a casino-style slot machine
It is.
that
yeah.
is disguised as a video game to be put in the bedrooms of children, fed by their parents' credit cards.
Yeah.
He said, and we don't let Joe Camel advertise cigarettes to your children because it's completely fucked. And for the same reason, we have no business allowing gambling in your children's bedroom.
Because there's a reason it's 18 and up for gambling.
Yeah.
It is a drug of the mind. It 100% is.
Oh no, there's science to prove that.
Yeah, it's
There's parts of the brain that gambling can play on.
Oh yeah, that
Oh, yeah.
dopamine release.
The dopamine release when you win, and especially if you win against odds. So you take that and you give these kids weird fucking odds because they won something stupid on this fucking game, like a specific
It's just so
headset or a
fucked because they don't
character.
understand what's happening to them,
Well, they
and
have no
sometimes
idea.
the parents don't know.
Well, I feel like parents are fucking oblivious because 90% of the time parents are oblivious.
Yeah.
Like my parents were fucking oblivious. Only difference is, when I was a kid, the credit card was locked up in your wallet. Now it's fucking tied to every piece of fucking hardware you have,
Yeah.
and
That's
you
true.
you just hit the goddamn buy button. So
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
check the box and you push purchase.
exactly.
over.
Like there's no reason. There's no reason it should take you longer than it took to develop the game to goddamn get things for the game.
Yeah.
The game is going to be gone in a year. Having a cycle that only allows you to get everything in the game within like 3 to 6 years, wasn't it? Like you'd have to play the game nonstop for like 3 years to get all the items.
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid. The game won't last that long. You made more content
No.
than you needed to, or you made exactly the right amount. I think you made exactly the right amount, and you're just trying to make money on it now.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. Like, you have such a backlog of items. I guarantee you half the shit you can unlock was already available in Battlefield 1, and it's just carryover appearance shit.
Oh yeah. At
Oh, it's
some
all
point,
bullshit.
They have this huge dearth of content, and they're like, okay, how much content can we take out of this to then resell?
Yeah, it's fucked.
Well, you know what? The beautiful thing is about that, it's all holiday season. We've all been out shopping. What have you seen around the video games sections of a lot of stores?
I don't know.
I'll be honest, I've seen it. There's a lot of stuff that's empty, and there's one particular thing that's still there.
It's fucking Battlefront 2.
Battlefront 2 is.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and be ignorant and oblivious and say it's not selling because there are people that have bought it. It has sold.
Well, it's-
yes.
what's
But to the level they expected, hell no.
Well, what's fucked is they've gotten so used to, and it's not just the game companies; it's the reviewing companies too, like IGN, GameSpot, all these fucking companies. What's that one third party that was like that tried to be indie?
Metacritic?
No,
IGN?
Metacritic's solid. It's fucking Kotaku. Fucking Kotaku is they influence the market. They know they influence the market, and they do shit to influence the market.
I will get on
It's
that.
fucked up.
Are you
Like,
basically, like, paid
one of the
reviews?
guys even wrote an article. He's like, I should not have talked about like Juicero or whatever the fuck he was talking about because I knew it would get them hits. It was for some Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, but I did it anyway, and it got them enough to actually kickstart their shit. I was like, you have fucking power, and you're using it.
Yeah. Don't
What-
get me started on ethics in game journalism.
Yeah, game journalism's fucked up. The whole thing's screwed, man. A bunch of old guys figured they could make money, and that's what they're fucking doing.
It's such an incestuous conglomeration of unethical journalism.
It's terrible
It is
people, man.
Amazing. That's why people like Video Game Donkey and
Yeah.
these YouTube personalities I go to for video game reviews now because I don't trust Polygon, IGN.
Any of those fucks.
They're all paid by the developers, right?
Oh,
Am
no,
I
they're
completely
paid
wrong
by the
here?
publishers.
Or paid by somebody to influence the reviews a certain way.
And when the fuck did developers have so much control over a fucking game? Developers are supposed to program the fucking game. They are supposed to be given the requirements by a designer and then make the game. And half the people who fucking talked about this shit were game developers. Unless they're just throwing the video game moniker video game developer around now. instead of actually labeling it like it should be. The designers are the ones who should have actually spoke to the design decisions for the game, economically or not economically. That is not a developer. So why the fuck were developers talking to people about it? Have they cut designers out entirely to prevent them for ethical issues? Or I don't fucking know, because I feel like the designers were the ones who were always more ethical about shit.
Well, yeah.
Developers don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They will do whatever you fucking tell them if they get paid. They're just fucking house builders. That's all they are. But the designers are the ones who actually design how the game is played.
Well, there's so much abstraction now out of the old school developers that were putting code into engine creation.
Right.
That level's been abstracted to where those like DICE Frostbite engine coders are nowhere near Battlefront.
Oh no.
Like, so you're dealing with people that are using content creation tools that are not those core developers that used to be the people, you know, the people that did the Nintendo, Super Nintendo games. Like, those were all like, the pipeline was one dude and his computer.
Yeah.
Now you have a content creation layer. You have the engine programmers.
Well, no, yeah. You have multiple
massive
layers.
teams of people.
And what the fuck thing is what is the engine for this? It's Frostbite.
Yeah.
So Frostbite was created years ago by DICE for the Battlefield games, and they took that fucking engine, and essentially they just made it their whore. They had their engineers who worked on the engine solely, and then you essentially have a group of people who just write scripts.
Oh,
That's all it is.
Yeah,
You have artists and scripters.
Yeah.
And those are your basic video game designers, I imagine, or developers now, or just scripters.
It was hilarious. Like the Need for Speed runs on Frostbite, and the first revision of Need for Speed on the Frostbite engine, they had to put a gun in the car because it couldn't comprehend the player without a gun. So they had to into the car.
That's fucked up.
That's hilarious.
It
And
tells you
sad.
it
And
tells
kind
you
of
how
fucked
That
up.
is
they had
fucked
to
up.
operate to get it done, though, because they were
Exactly,
under the fucking, you know, and that's really it. Is fucking the last good Battlefield game was Battlefield 3, in my opinion.
Yes!
And that's
Completely, yeah.
yeah,
4
and
was
that's
good,
it.
but it had flaw. It was good on the end. It launched like shit.
One of the
So
best-
yeah, I think you might be right. I
Yeah.
mean,
One of the
there's an
best-
argument for 4, but there's also an argument against it because of some
Battlefield
issues
2
and bugs.
was
But
by far the best Battlefield game. Battlefield 3 was a more realistic, customizable version of that. That was their peak. That was like Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
that goddamn opening scene in Battlefield 3.
Were they in the car and shit?
Yeah.
that was badass.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
No, they did an amazing job. Right after that, I think they were acquired by EA, or right before that. That was their
I think
first
right
EA
after
game.
that's when EA acquired
Yeah.
DICE.
Oh, yeah.
And then DICE went to shit after that.
Which, oh,
so,
God.
It's been a slow, shitty decline. I mean, I think because like 10 years ago, I remember like we're sitting in your apartment playing these games. Like, thank God we have this company that makes such amazing content and doesn't bend their customers over, and they still make profit.
and they got sold.
And here we are
And
down the road, and it's just in the toilet.
And I'm putting my like fucking flag on the ground. EA just bought Respawn. So the people that did Titanfall.
Oh, they're fucked.
They're
yeah.
fucked. They're
And the
fucked.
thing is, they left EA.
No, it was
Fucking-
Activision.
It was Activision.
Yeah.
I
Are
thought
these
one
people
was
that
from
left
Activision.
and then got acquired or sold out or something?
I can't believe they sold out from. They're just making money at this point.
Well,
'Cause
somebody
all,
got
all that
paid.
was a startup.
Oh yeah, like 3-4 years, and they were sold for $450 million.
Yeah,
They're okay.
they're okay. They're
Yes,
taken care of.
a group of somebodies got paid nicely on that deal.
It's
Well,
like the
they-
doctors
Hey, more
of
power to 'em.
BioWare.
But it's funny you mentioned the EA acquiring things because that's something, I mean, in my opinion, it's kind of become a problem because there's been so many good studios that make good content, and every time EA buys them, and then 6 months or 2 years later, the studio's either shut down or kind of told that it's the end is
This
near,
is the problem.
and then they're done.
This
Like
is the problem.
BioShock.
The-
Or not Bioshock.
I mean, am I
BioWare.
wrong?
Well, no, I mean
No,
the very
yeah.
reason this happened is because we've allowed for monopoly. We made legislation back in like fucking 50s or 60s for Bell. Then we made legislation to prevent monopolies. That legislation was removed, so now monopolies can exist again. It's been that way for years, probably since the 80s. So now that's why you have all these mega corporations like fucking Amazon, fucking. You have Comcast buying everybody
Comcast
out.
and Charter and Time
AT&T,
Warner.
because the Republicans, I'm not saying this towards anybody, but it was the Republicans. They're the political
Oh, there's an
party.
R on the end of that.
There's an R on the end of it.
Look, they're people too.
They took the
Corporations.
legislation away that prevented from monopolies from happening, and now we have it affecting basically every aspect of our life.
Which
So-
brings up a big fight that's coming in very shortly. Is basically net neutrality.
Yeah, net neutrality is the fight against allowing those monopolies to take control of us even further. And the FCC who Donald Trump put a guy in the head of the SEC, Ajay Pai,
Damn it.
He's basically the Antichrist of the internet. Like,
That's a good way to put him.
no, he is 100%.
Either that or just a sewer rat. One of the two.
He's the Antichrist of the internet. He basically wants to take what is free and unalterable and what is the fucking word I'm trying to think of? You can't force things on the internet. It is free, and the way that it is open and available to everybody.
Well, so what kills me is the whole thing about it is you have no right to inspect my packet.
Right.
To determine where like the contents inside that packet.
You shouldn't be looking at my flags.
Exactly.
No, the thing receiving my content should be looking at my flags.
Exactly. You're the road that I'm running on.
You
don't give a shit about what's in my car.
And packet sniffing is illegal depending on how you do it. So basically, they're legalizing packet sniffing on a massive scale.
Yeah.
So it's just that's fucked, because what they're doing it for is to advertise to you, and they're just gonna fuck you out of more money. It's just like we're reaching a peak of capitalism in the United States where everything costs you massive amounts of money and there is no relief from spending money. Consumerism can fucking last as long as it can fucking last. But when you start making people pay for shit they already had, like, I don't think we're going to be able to do this podcast anymore if I have to pay another fucking $60 a month so I can get the upload necessary to do this, because they make fast lanes. Mm-hmm. What time are we going to have to meet if we don't want to fucking pay for a fast lane?
We have to podcast
Non-peak
at 4 a.m.
hours,
on a Tuesday?
We can't meet at fucking 4 a.m. on a Tuesday to do this shit. Mm-hmm. So what the fuck? Like, I really don't feel like paying for fast lanes to the internet. And then all the fact that all of the internet is free, and you can't tell me for a second if you don't think companies like Reddit and fucking Facebook and everybody else is going to take advantage of their news systems. The second that it's allowed, they're going to fucking paywall the fuck out of everybody.
They will.
And you're
going
going
to
the real crazy thing about the whole thing is there's no private citizens that could honestly be before this. It's all corporations.
It's all corporations. But when we allow them to
citizens
make
can't
corporations
possibly be for
people,
this.
they have their own entitlement at this point. So it's fucked. We did it to ourselves. Well, I wouldn't say we did it to ourselves. The companies that can now be represented as people by lobbying to fucking politicians represented themselves and are representing our fucking desires, whether we believe it or not. So we fucked ourselves by letting people put changes in where they can allow companies to lobby as people. So we're fucked. There's nothing we can do. The only thing we do is remove that legislation. They had a push in like the 70s or the 80s, 60s, where there was a lot of corrupt shit going on, and we fucking made a lot of changes politically and moved through it, but we're like peak corruption right now. 100%.
Oh, it's so nasty.
Like peak
it's
corruption.
So dirty.
Like, the things that they're coming at me with, fucking like net neutrality, fucking just trying to take away the requirement to get medical health care so it fucks up your premium. What the fuck? Like, you're just fucking everybody out of their money, and it only benefits you. Yeah. It only pisses us off. At what point do we not fucking get out our rifles and pitchforks? Like, this is fucking stupid. We don't have representation. This is the very reason we broke away from England. Like, we have to make a change, or rifle and pitchfork. Like, I don't fucking know what else to do. But
there's a saying that kind of describes what you're talking about. Like, at what point does America stand up and say enough is enough? I mean, and the problem, at least I kind of agree with this, and tell me if you agree or not. The problem is that life in America is still good enough that people don't give a shit.
No,
yes, they see that things are going fucked and things are going in a negative direction.
It's boiling a frog, man.
But they're concerned. One part I don't blame them, because they're not concerned about things other places. They're concerned about their kids and their job and their day to day, and I get that. But they're not seeing us a day to day negative impact to stand up and make a change. Like, they kind of see the shit winds coming, but the shit winds hadn't hit yet.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, I'm just gonna sit here and go act like everything's cool and live my life, because while it's bad, like, there's still food on the shelves in the grocery.
Still comfortable.
I still have lights in my house, and I still have heat in my house, and I still have a car.
Better get in your shit shelter.
So the shit winds are coming, but the shit winds ain't here
That
yet,
isn't a Trailer
and they
Park
don't
Boys
care.
reference. I don't know what
I mean,
is.
does that make sense though?
Yeah.
It's like things are bad, but they're not
Yeah.
bad enough yet to
No.
piss people off to that extent.
They
But
call
give it time.
Well,
They
once,
call
once
it-
the comfort level gets low enough, that's when stuff will happen.
Right,
People
but-
get so uncomfortable, then they will get action.
right, but the way that they describe it is called boiling a frog. They say if you put a frog in a pot and you slowly increase the temperature over a long period of time, the frog never knows that it gets hot enough for the water to boil and it dies because of its own stupidity. Like, or not stupidity, but it's the fact that it can't comprehend heat over time, whatever the fuck.
It plays a trick on.
So
its
what they
system.
do is they slowly fuck us over time, where we still have the ability to pay our bills, buy food. Maybe our futures aren't as secure, but we still have the ability to exist and purchase the things we want now, because it's a consumerist-based society.
Yeah.
The second we can't have our cell phones, shit's fucked. So, but we have China looking out for us on that end, making cheap cell phones. So I don't know how often that's gonna, or how long it's gonna take for that to happen.
It's like so if net neutrality gets out of the way, it's not going to be the next day that Comcast fucks us.
No.
It's gonna be
No, they're going to
slow-
start with the corporations.
it's
They're
gonna
not
be
going to start with us.
yeah,
Well,
it's
they
gonna
are-
be slow.
Or start with like Netflix.
Who's
like,
kidding who though? Comcast is already putting a pretty good fucking on everybody.
Well, no,
You're really
the whole
loud,
point
Cody.
is the reason
Oh, I'm sorry.
there was a cord cutting movement was because the internet was free. We had the ability to choose what we wanted instead of doing when you go Comcast, you have a package of channels you have to buy that are associated with specific outlets, and if you want things a la carte, they're super expensive. Okay? And they have different packages oriented towards different types of people.
bronze.
That's how the
silver,
internet
gold.
would be. They're going to package the internet. It's going to be, you get the Reddit channel, you get this channel, you get this channel, you get this, you get the Facebook channel. You pay for these things, you pay for access to these things. And I bet you there's sub-tier access to those things.
Yeah.
So you might have Facebook Basic with fucking Comcast, but Facebook knows if you pay an extra $5 a month, you can see if people read your fucking messages. You know, stupid bullshit like that. Like read receipts on messages, or goddamn the ability to send GIFs or videos through messages. This shit like this is what's gonna fucking happen. And it's gonna happen quick as fuck, and it's gonna be overpriced just like cable is. And it's gonna fuck everybody.
You know what my biggest fear is? I think we'll all agree that net neutrality. I mean, we're fucked. It's probably going to happen soon.
No, I hope fucking not.
I hope not. No, I don't want it to happen. But it's
We've been down this road like fucking 4 times already. It's come down to a vote on net neutrality like 4 fucking times already. This is like the 5th time. I feel like the only way it's gonna fucking happen is if it goes to the Supreme Court. So as many fucking times as this happens as it takes for us to get a mistrial and go to the Supreme Court or whatever the fuck, that's what has to happen, and the Supreme Court has to rule on the fact that it is a utility and not a goddamn piece of something that can be owned.
No, I sincerely hope
So-
you're right.
so
I hope that happens.
That's what needs to happen. The Supreme Court needs to rule on it because it's something that massively affects the country, and it needs to be ruled on by a group of people who are politically unbiased, which we now know is bullshit. Because as time went on in the United States, fucking Supreme Court judges have become politicized. So I don't fucking know how it's gonna play out. If we lose, it's clearly corrupt. If we
It's
lose,
corrupt as fuck.
We're not the first country to lose net neutrality. Countries that have already lost net neutrality, like Russia and China, well, it just doesn't play into their paradigm because they're dictatorships. So what are we saying? What the fuck are we saying?
Yeah, well, there's
Are
They're
we
used to it.
Are we a capitalistic dictatorship at this point? Because that's
Yeah.
what it's starting to feel like.
There's something actually I noticed, and I'll make it quick, but it kind of confirms what you're saying, that, and it comes to Formula One, but nothing about racing. Go watch the Russian Grand Prix and look at all the political shit and all the nationalistic shit that they do before the race, showing everything, and then after that, turn on an NFL football game. Turn on a
Exactly.
NASCAR race. Because you're going to see the Russians do it, and you're going to be like, man, look at all, this is fucked up. Look at how they're promoting all this propaganda. This is shitty.
Of course, it's propaganda.
You don't even notice your own country doing it because you're so used to it. You'll notice it when the Russians do it because they're the evil Russians and all that shit's going on. But watch the NFL game. Watch the NASCAR race. You'll see the same shit. All the flags, and, the
flags
military and all the songs. And like, fuck yeah, it's happening. Hell yeah, it's happening. If you don't believe me, go to your local fucking sports game. And open your eyes and open your ears.
No, it's been happening.
Go with your kid to school and listen to what they make them say every fucking morning at 7, 10 a.m.
Is when you're oblivious to it, it feels so good.
It does.
So
but go
good.
watch the Formula
Ignorance
1
is
Russian
bliss.
Grand Prix and see all the shit that they do, and you're going to notice because they're Russians, and then turn on an American event, and you're going to be like, oh my God, that motherfucker on the podcast was right.
It's fucked, man.
It is. Now, we can say that without what I'm afraid with net neutrality, my biggest fear is that we're going to lose it, and then the government is like our senators and congressmen are going to come behind and fix it. They're going to say, "Oh well, we know everybody's upset, so we're going to come in and pass more legislation, and we're going to fix it and regulate it." And you know what happens every time they do this? They'll have a 700-page bill with a whole bunch of tricky language with all kinds of hidden shit that affects all their special interest groups.
Yeah.
So that's my fear, is that not only are we going to lose it, but the government's going to act like they're helping us and act like they're trying to fight back, but they're just going to fuck it further, because that's kind of what happens, at least from what I've seen, with all, the lobbyists and the corporate interest. It's all about corporate America. That's all that they care about. So I hope to God that we don't lose it, but I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
I think we're fucked. To be honest, it's like we've won so many times with net neutrality already. How many fucking more times can we win?
Well, that's the thing.
At what point do they just get fucking lucky and they pay enough people and they promise enough people money and then they fucking win? It seems like that's this fucking time.
You keep throwing darts at the wall, eventually you hit something.
Yeah. What'd you say?
Every time it just feels like a stay of execution.
It does. It feels like a stay of execution. It feels like it's not over.
Yeah.
And then we're good for 6 months, and then it comes up again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just fucked. But if we lose it, we lose everything that I love about the internet and everything that everybody else. Well, I guess there's a lot of people who understand that what the free internet is now is great, but
A lot of people just don't
they were
understand
already
what they're
enforcing. They were not already enforcing things based off net neutrality though, and they wanted to see how it went. Like T-Mobile did a bunch of shit where they were like, you get benefits by picking T-Mobile because we'll allow you to have full access to this website for free. They give you benefits and privileges, basically fast lanes on certain things
That's how they give you stuff
to get you interested in it.
Yeah, they give you Netflix doesn't count against your data program.
Right, or Pokemon Go in this case.
Yeah.
You
Well, what's
get
the
free
catch?
Pokemon Go data and you get free Netflix data on binge on for the next fucking
And
year
they
or
act
two.
like they're doing a favor for you.
And you know what happens after
Well, there's
that
always
year?
a catch. When a corporation's doing you a favor,
Yeah.
there's always a catch, and at that point you might be the product.
Oh yeah.
Your data and your information could be the product.
It's just fucked. I don't see it going anywhere pleasant. This is going to hurt, and it's going to hurt all of us financially if this passes. So prepare for your buttholes to get a little wider, because that's exactly what's going to happen.
The shit winds are coming, boys.
The shit
winds are coming.
We're going from 2 fingers to 3 fingers. That's what's about to happen. It's just
And if
fucked.
Aji gets it, I mean, we're going full fist, just ram it right in.
I just don't understand why these politicians think they can make these decisions for us without actually consulting us, because this has not been vetted through the people. This should be a referendum.
It's
This should
the
not
exact
be
opposite
voted
of
on
what the
by
people want.
politicians. We have the ability to do referendums. This should be a referendum vote. This should not be a politician vote. Because the FCC thinks that he can make this decision. This is a civil rights decision.
That's what's even fucked up. Why does the FCC even think they get the power to do this?
They shouldn't. It would be
Because
like-
Donald Trump said Ajit's heck can do it.
The
So
Supreme
they're
Court
doing
has the power to rule on this because they're the supreme power in the land. They can make the decision ultimately if this is right or wrong. And generally, the Supreme Court rules in favor of what is right. Generally, they do. They do generally rule in what is right. We have fucking no racism or like state-sponsored racist acts anymore, right? We have fucking the ability for gay people to get married now. They generally vote on what's right. If this goes to the Supreme Court and it gets voted fucked, then we know we're in a corrupt nation even more. And that's, I mean, like, honestly, look, I don't want to renounce my citizenship. I'm not renouncing my citizenship now, but it's probably pretty easy to get into Canada, and I wouldn't mind fucking going at this point. That's
It's a
all I'm
little
saying.
more difficult than you think.
I would still give it a fucking shot.
Now, let's be honest. I mean, you having a decent job and no criminal history definitely helps your case. But there's still loopholes to go through.
It's just beast though, man. The American beast is just too much right now. Like I don't. This past, the year before last was fucked. Everybody fucking died. We had all kinds of terrible shit happen. This year was supposed to be better, and this year it's like, ultimately, looking out your window and seeing a gray sky politically, it is just fucking garbage. So, I mean, the fucking tax thing alone is even more fucked. They're taking money from us by taking our fucking tax breaks away from us. And they're giving those to corporations. So they're taking our tax breaks that we've had for years and years and years, and they're giving those tax breaks to corporations. Now, it would have been fine if they never gave us those fucking tax breaks, but basically what you're doing is you're setting a living standard saying, we're at this point where we're comfortable doing this. At what point do we need to make the sacrifice to do this? Our country is booming right now. There is no need to make even tons more money at a fucking faster pace. We're doing fantastic. We're literally doing fantastic right now. What is the point of fucking money out of the little guy? Why? Because he maybe got a fucking 0.5% growth in fucking income over for the first time in like 30 years? So they're gonna take it away from us? What the fuck are we allowing to happen in this fucking country? It's fucking mind-blowing. It's like, I don't even care politically who puts this shit in. McCain apparently is the person who's going to make the decision on voting on this or not. And if that's the case, then we should be good because McCain's a pretty fucking solid human being. Thank God he's fucking a solid human being, which means he cares about what people should not have to fucking spend stupid money on. So, if he's any type of fucking normal human being, he'll vote no and will be solid. Purely for the fact because he hates fucking Trump, which is good enough for me on this fucking bill. I don't fucking care if this is a legitimate no or not, as long as it's no, because we don't need any more of our money taken. It's fucking... I just bought a fucking house. One of the great things about having a house is you get a tax break. I make like another $1,000 or $2 on my taxes back for fucking having this goddamn thing. I'm not gonna have that anymore, which makes renovating your house a pain in the fucking cunt. That's what that makes it. So all the little renovations you wanted to do after you get a house, it's going to be coming out of your own fucking pocket instead of deductions for paying taxes on your fucking house. So,
to be completely honest, you do have the save your documentation. When you sell your house, you can do a tax break. For example, say you do $20,000 in renovations, and you have the receipts. When you sell it, you make $50,000 profit, right? You're going to owe capital gains tax on that profit. What you can do, you basically give your accountant your documentation for all your renovations and the money you spent, and that can help counter your tax bill on that capital gains tax. Does that make sense?
I guess.
Bottom line, if you do any renovations on your house, save everything. Save all your receipts, all your documentation, because when you sell your house, the idea is to sell at a profit. And when you sell at a profit, unfortunately, you're going to owe some capital gain tax. But you can counteract that with your receipts and documentation.
Right, you can do that. You can do that. You can
for work on your property.
What the hell? What the hell?
We lose Cody. There he is. He's coming back in. Give him just a sec. Yeah, I learned that from an accountant a couple years ago.
You can do that now. It doesn't offset the yearly taxes.
No, it has nothing to do with your day-to-day,
right, no,
year-to-year.
I got that. But that doesn't. That's just a. That's so you're getting half back what you would normally get. I mean,
you get something back on the back.
It's going to lower the property value of houses, and the one thing we don't need right now is a fucking immediate bubble. It can cause an immediate bubble. It can cause an immediate bubble.
Houses in the last couple of years. That'd be really
fucked. It can cause an immediate bubble in a recovering housing market. Like that's the point that's fucking big shit. Is the value of your house can go down because people will not want to buy houses anymore because they don't get the free upgrades. The free upgrades are what look, man, if you fucking use your tax refund or your deduction to fucking use that to buy or do renovations on your house, and then in a situation like Brett says, where you move and you use those free deductions to fucking mark off your capital gains tax, which is basically fucking loophole for free money, you're fucking making out like a bandit. That's one of the reasons people do it. It gives them a small amount of wealth in a country where the large amount of wealth is held by a few people. It's one of the ways that little people can work their way up to getting a nice fucking house. If you take that fucking little edge away from everybody, nobody's gonna fucking buy a house, man. Why the
It's
fuck
scary.
Why the fuck would you buy a house if there's no benefits to buying a house? If there's no tax break to buying a fucking house?
Well, because then you have all the liability and less rewards.
So what is the only tax break left to goddamn get married in this fucking country? Is that the fucking only thing, or are they taking that the fuck away too? Like, what the fuck else can
That's
they take
not
away from
worth
us?
much anyway, though.
It's not
No.
worth much. It's not worth
Not
much on your fucking house either, man. That's what I'm saying.
Ask the married guy about the marriage tax break. I have no idea. I
But
mean, I
it
know you
doesn't
get
fit.
one, but I don't know the
I
impact.
just remain ignorantly disdainful at all taxes.
I fucking hate them.
I am a big proponent of the consumption-based taxes.
Preach.
It's just it makes so much more sense because the more you make, the more you get taxed, the more you get fucked.
I just
It
think
just
it needs
makes
to
me
be
so
an
mad.
equal income tax based off bracket. It's the
Just
same
give me a
goddamn
percentage
thing.
that we all pay the same percentage. If
Exactly.
you're going to do it
And
that
the
way.
problem
If we
is
all
it's-
pay 35%, fine. If we all pay 20%, fine. If we all pay, God forbid, 40, I'll kick you in the dick. But like, my point is just there's somewhere out there. There's a number where you can. I have no clue what it is, but there's a number out there that you can put across the board tax right now today and still get the same revenue and have everybody tax the same
Well,
percentage.
The thing is, for lower people like me and you and anybody else probably listening to this podcast, there is a limit on deductions that we can get back in a year for a single person or
Absolutely.
a single house. So I think it's like $4,000, maybe $4 to $6,000. The
It's
more
definitely
money,
well under 10.
the
yeah.
more money you make, that gets fucking higher and higher and higher to the point where it's millions of dollars. And it currently is. There is there's a fourth tax bracket for people who can claim other tax, where they've deducted so far that they only owe like $5 million on $124 million income a year. And what that other deduction tax bracket is for is to ensure they pay their fair share, because you can fucking get an accountant to work his ass off to dwindle it down to almost nothing. And that's the reason Donald Trump paid $35 million in taxes. They said without that alternate tax bracket that currently exists, he would have only paid $5.
Well, there's one other
That's-
thing. I'll be honest with you.
That's a $30 million difference because of a piece of legislation that's currently enacted, and they want to kill that so they can get back to paying like less in taxes per annum than we do based off of income. That's fucking crazy. They're the ones who should be paying for this country because they're the ones who make the most. 25% is 25 fucking percent is 25%. Just because you make more doesn't mean you get a break from that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's a number out there where we all pay the same percentage.
Well, they're supposed to-
And that's fair.
They're eating like the $300 meals. They're buying the Jaguars. They're using the private planes. Like they're consuming the more expensive items, and that's where we can always hit them at.
So, I don't know. It's frustrating sometimes, but I don't know.
100%. I don't think Cody's been on board too well tonight. I think he's having trouble. He's been on a few times, but I don't know. I think he's rebooting maybe.
Are we still recording?
Yeah, we're still recording. He's just having problems. Because fucking, I don't know why he's having problems.
We'll see if we can get him back here in a minute. So
Anyway, fucking, it's just the whole political landscape right now is just super fucked. I don't see any way to fucking prevent any of this terrible shit. You know, the medical thing was one thing. We got away with that, but he's still harming it. So that's still going to get your price per medical bill or per medical coverage is going to go up for premiums no matter what, because he's removing the requirement. I don't care how it works. I just don't want the shit to fucking go up. So I'm fine with that not being there. You know what I'm saying? I have to have medical anyway. So it's just I'm on the fucking VA right now because I don't want to pay for the shit.
Yeah, I mean, like my medical shit went up at least 50 to 60%, like over the past 4 years.
It's fucked. I remember paying like. There was a time when I paid like $60 a month for fucking medical insurance, and I had a copay, and that was all I fucking paid. And that was 2000s, early 2000s. That was the remnants of the 90s. The amazing fucking healthcare system we had then, and even then they were saying this shit's gonna go up every year, and it did, to the point where you're paying almost $100, $200 every pay period. That's fucking crazy. Some people pay more than that.
Yeah, I mean, hell, I remember when I was unemployed, I just got catastrophic insurance, dirt fucking cheap. And ate a bunch of vitamin C.
That's it.
Yeah. That was a sketchy.
Orange after fucking orange, I will be healthy. Fuck this. There is nothing stopping me from being healthy if I have bushels and bushels of oranges.
Exactly.
So it's...
I did not get scurvy at all.
You did not get scurvy. Well, I fucking hope not. I mean, if you're eating an orange tree a day, how the fuck could you get scurvy? With the amount of oranges you ate, you could have probably built a ship to fucking travel on.
Oh, God.
He's a cunt right now. How the fuck can he not stay connected? And
That New Orleans internet, man. New Orleans utility shitting the bed on us.
you know what? He can buy a higher fucking grade. If he doesn't want this fucking problem, it's not my problem. I'm uploading fine. It's his communication that's
He's
fucked.
gonna get that Skype package, the voice over IP package, along with the upload package.
Exactly.
And the podcast package.
Exactly.
So,
With the Skype option included, don't forget.
And we're gonna need the ability to get a drive to store it in for cloud. So that's probably gonna be another $50 right
oh, yeah,
there.
it's the file upload.
It's the file.
You gotta
upload.
pay for the cloud access, too.
Oh my fuck! This is
The
gonna be
productivity
cabinet.
package.
This is gonna be categorized cabinet fucking. Is what this is gonna be.
Just compare it to your current cable bill, where you basically have, 20 different options to pick from, and they all have different fees. And then at the end of that line, there's the almighty unlimited option for a minimal monthly fee of $739.98.
I bet you it's $200 easy. I bet you the free flow, as close to as you can get to the old internet, is gonna be like $200 a month.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you want the best cable TV option right now, it's what, $200 a month?
Yeah.
About $200.
Something like that, yeah. I think it's up there.
Because they're going to see the profits they were losing and charge the internet what the profits they were losing from people cutting the cord.
Well, that's basically what's happening, is that there's been a lot of people cord cutting over the years, and now to make up that lost revenue, they're basically treating it with the same system. Whereas you have, instead of being like $40 a month for internet, okay, well, like $40 a month for base, then with your different pack, it's just a way to get more money out of the customer. They see that people are abandoning cable TV and going internet heavy, so it's a way to put more financial restrictions on the internet route. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I hope Elon and the Tesla can get their little internet satellites up and running, so we can forget all these stupid other telecom
This
companies.
shit's just fucked, man. I don't know what we're gonna do. I really don't.
But even if that happens, who's to say they don't switch their morals and start tax us once they get something that's better, and we all switch to it?
So you're
Who's to say they're not going to start taxing and fucking us on that end either?
No, I'm
You're
moving.
moving to Canada. I'm fucking moving to Korea.
I'm moving to the Federal Republic of California whenever it fucking breaks away. That's what the fuck I'm doing.
Okay, have fun out there.
The bear state at that point.
Bear State. They're talking about making 3 states out of it. You see that?
Oh, God.
Southern, Northern, and like Central or Louisiana, Los Angeles, California. Because Los Angeles City has enough people to be its own state.
Well, between Los Angeles and the San Diego area, there's millions and millions and millions
So
of
it's
people.
SoCal, NorCal, and Los Angeles would be the different states.
Like just a Los Angeles mega city
Yeah,
state.
mega city state.
I like that idea.
That would be awesome.
Can we call it Neo Los Angeles?
Yeah, Neo Los.
Exactly.
Neo Los Angeles.
You mentioned
Neo-Los.
Korea.
Oh,
So,
man.
is it story time yet?
Let's see if we can get back on call with this piece of shit.
So, Nate went on an adventure, everybody.
Yeah, when you talk about internet that's ridiculously fast, Korea.
Oh, you
Yeah,
mean
we-
actual proper technology?
We have the slowest, out of all the developed nations, we have the slowest.
I
internet.
loaded up the fucking speed test app on my phone.
Right.
And every time I went to some new restaurant, I was like, oh, 50?
150?
Yeah.
150
we're
down,
fucked.
about 15, 20 up.
Yeah, we're getting fucked.
Yeah, it was about 50 up, something like that.
Jesus.
This is like a mom and pop like Korean barbecue joint just off the strip. Like this wasn't like anything fancy. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. Cody's out for the night, so it's just us.
Cool.
man.
We'll
I
finish
said-
it up here in a little bit.
Yeah, we can call it in about 20 minutes.
But, yeah, anyway, Nate went to Korea once upon a time.
Yeah, Jesus. So Korea is amazing. Like the best food I've ever ate in any country.
I bet it's boss.
It's so good. It's
Better
just-
than Japan?
Oh yeah. Well, so
I think you're biased.
I'm not a fan of sea animals.
Oh, well, you're fucked then.
Yes.
That's why I like Japanese food
Okay,
so much, because
yeah.
I like eating sea animals.
Oh god. So you get me like a 4-legged animal on land.
That's Korea.
I'll eat it. Yeah. And Korea will just fucking throw it. They throw it to you in the raw form, and you cook it right in front of you, like every place I went. Or it just straight wasn't cooked. I had some raw beef.
Whoa, you
Yeah,
had tartar?
Yeah.
Well, he's still upright and he's still alive, so.
Yeah, cracked
Tartar.
a raw egg on the top, and it was amazing.
That's awesome. I'm actually really jealous of that. I bet you spent a pretty goddamn penny on food.
No.
Is
it's
it cheap
dirt
there?
Fucking cheap.
So it's just expensive here because they're dicks.
Exactly.
Capitalism.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Let me guess. They didn't have the cheese corn dish either.
What cheese? What?
Cheese corn dish. Here in all the
There's
Korean
a couple of them
restaurants,
around,
they
you
have
tell
a
them,
cheese
Jimmy.
corn dish.
The fuck is that?
It's kind of a joke.
Oh, it's a joke. It's totally a joke. We went to this one Korean barbecue place, and they were like, "Do you want the cheese corn dish?" A lot of people get it here, and it was for. They're like, it's basically for white people.
It's exactly what it is.
It's melted cheese and corn. That's it.
Ugh.
Yeah, they put
It's
a
good.
little side dish
It's
full of
fucking
corn
delicious.
and some melted cheese on top
It's
of it.
fucking delicious.
The reasoning is, I don't know, I thought Americans would like it.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
guess what?
We love
We
it.
do.
Fucking cheese and anything.
Cheese and corn,
So-
bring it the fuck on.
So on the topic of corn, though, I've had the best fucking corn dog of my life
In Korea?
in Korea. You know
Nice.
what the magic ingredient was? Sugar.
Sugar.
Really?
Yes.
Well,
So,
that's what the corn is for. The cornmeal should have sugar in it, so it's Swedish. But you shouldn't have. Why did I say Swedish? Sweet-ish, but not too sweet.
oh, well, you just take that and you just
like 4 more cups of sugar?
You just roll
Roll it in sugar.
Like there was just like a tray of sugar in front of me, and I was like, "What?
What is this dish called? It is called pig diabetes.
Oh god! Oh man, that's a pig neck."
It's a pig neck.
But, oh yeah, so you just take the corn dog, you fucking roll it in sugar, all of it attaches it, and you put honey mustard on top of the sugar.
Oh my goodness.
And then there's like the corn dog thing, and then the cheese is the cheese is in between the corn dog and the sausage.
Oh,
And
man.
then you just go-
This sounds magical.
That does sound amazing.
Keep going, keep going.
It
Yeah,
is
he's
great.
getting,
Yeah,
he's
keep
getting a
going.
food.
Yeah.
He's getting a phoner, a food
Oh,
boner.
fuck this
Oh.
corn dog.
It is magical, and of course it's in like this like hole in the wall place, smaller than this room, with just
It's amazing.
It's always the best food.
$1.50.
$1.50.
Jesus.
Fuck off. No way.
We need to go to Korea for a couple weeks.
No way. Did you get dirty looks from the locals at all?
Yeah.
That's
Some
a yeah.
places, because you went to places that normally white people probably don't go to.
No, especially Korean spas.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
I went to a Korean
Oh.
spa, and
Did
that
you
was
did you show them your hang down while you're in there? Wiggle it a bit.
Just pull out your bat wing.
So there's many reasons why I was out of place. So first of all, a Korean like spa, fucking amazing. The saunas there, fucking ridiculous.
Saunas are really good. I like
Holy
saunas.
shit. Like one of them was basically a planetarium.
What?
Yeah. So the basic
Really?
was displaying like fucking like galaxy stuff and all this other stuff like on a 3D projection screen at the top. And you were supposed to lay down on the floor. It's fucking amazing. That one was probably what like 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Felt good. The one that was 160 degrees Fahrenheit did not feel good at all.
That's
Like,
too much.
That's
It's too much.
That's insane. So after all that shit, I went to the bath part of the Korean spa, and that was awkward on so many fucking levels. Awkward number one.
Just walking with the Johnsons out.
Yes, everybody was just like it was pure nude. So like it's like fucking when in Rome.
I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean,
but-
I played ball growing up. I've been in a locker
I don't have
room.
a problem with it. Everybody who's ever met me in real life knows that. So
so, like,
Once
yeah.
upon a time, Jimmy went to the army. There was no privacy.
there was no privacy.
There was negative privacy.
And now I think it's funny to see people squeamish when they think they have privacy.
So at any point did you like? Were you like in a bath with another man?
No.
I was in showers with them.
Okay, because I was in
Like
a
no
bath.
walls. Like his shower head is
Oh,
2
yeah,
feet
yeah.
away from me.
Like yeah, I'm used to that.
I had a
kind
guy
of-
pee on my leg one time.
That's
Okay.
not- yeah,
He was just helping with the athlete's foot, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, man.
He was doing
you
you
have
a
no
solid.
idea how weird we were
So-
to each other.
Jesus.
It was terrible.
Like
Borderline
that
gay with a
borderline,
lot of
yeah.
shit, but
God.
not 100% gay. Just
Everything except the dick in.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
Just not the full spacey.
No oral, anal, or anything like that, but weird shit. Like smacking a dude as hard as you can on the ass. So
That's
he's
just
like-
locker room humor.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
long as you got your hand,
It's
it's
shower
okay.
humor. That's it.
Yeah.
Shower humor. But it was constant. It's
Man.
fucking constant.
So I walk into this bathhouse portion of
Right.
this event, And immediately I'm out of place for multiple reasons. So first of all, only male in there with an ounce of muscle definition. These are all I call them skinny fat people.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I'm out of place.
Dad
for
bod.
that reason. Lots of dad bods. And only white guy in there. Only guy with any facial hair. Only guy with a tattoo.
If you're the only white guy, you're probably walking like King
You're
Kong
pretty
in that
much
place.
everything they hate at this point.
So apparently a thing too is like I keep my area well maintained. That is not a Korean thing.
They just throw their shit everywhere.
No, they just have.
It's a jungle down there, Jimmy.
There's it's just.
Oh, it's black poof.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a black poof.
Big as it can be. Just so. There is clear definition of my cock.
They were just jealous.
Fuck.
Oh no, because it brings back. I remember, like I heard this buddy. Listen to this, buddy. So why he always dates Asian chicks? Years ago, he was like, because here's the thing, they think my average dick is fucking huge. Just have an average dick, an average white boy dick, get with an Asian chick. They think you're fucking Peter North. It's amazing. That's why they were jealous.
It was definitely an awkward moment. So at first I didn't know what the fuck to do.
Did they think you were gay at all?
They all turned their heads as soon as I walked in there.
Oh
I was
yeah.
Like,
they don't want to look at you.
So let me just keep walking.
You put them to shame.
I walked immediately to like the like indoor sauna, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna hang out in here because I don't know what the fuck to do. 10 seconds later, another guy walks in there, and I was like, I don't know what you're doing. Just I'm not making eye contact with
Please
you.
leave.
I'm like, this
Please
is my
go
little,
home.
like security area. I don't know what the fuck to do.
It'd be funny if it was another white guy like you walked in.
Oh,
that would have been great for you.
Well, I was, I don't know that situation.
You would have had somebody to talk to at least, and
Yeah.
been like, "What the fuck? Isn't this weird?"
Yeah, and he probably would have put his hand on my shoulder and be like, "No, it's not weird.
It's not weird.
It's only weird if you make it weird.
It's only weird if we
Exactly.
kiss.
just don't make no eye contact."
No eye contact. It's only
Yeah.
gay if you make eye contact.
So I was like, "Fuck it," and just went straight into the bath. The 45-degree Celsius bath. I don't know, it's pretty warm.
This is about 120
Something
Fahrenheit,
like that, yeah.
130.
Super hot.
Yeah, and I was just like, "Well, this is happening now. It's happening now," and it was awkward. It never got less awkward. The only time it got less awkward is when I went outside and they had the outside bath, which again I'm like, "What the fuck is this outside?"
Black poofs everywhere.
Should have never have gone. I don't even go to the one in Duluth because of this very reason. I was there.
Oh, what, the Asian spot down the street?
We have a huge one, yeah.
Yeah, Jeju.
I'm
Yeah.
not surprised. Oh, I need
We
to go
have
check
like
this
a
out.
couple.
Yeah.
There's one on Beeford Highway that's big as
I
fuck.
mean, we
too.
do live in like Little Korea here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. If we wanted this experience, we could go.
Let's
And-
go.
and I
I'm
guarantee-
so down.
I guarantee you, it would not be as awkward as Nate's.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't.
I'd go in there, dude. If we all went in there, that'd be so fucking weird. Like, we would, because we wouldn't give a shit, and we'd just be laughing, and it'd be fucked up. They would think we're terrible people.
It was the Asian men definitely understood that I was out of place. And I was out of that place for lots of different reasons. God.
At the end of the day, they're just hating. They're just jealous.
You made sure you were clean.
A
for
man
your
came in
girl.
with muscle definition
Oh, yeah.
and a
You
normal
made
sized
sure you were-
cock.
You
They
made
were
sure
jealous.
You were clean for your girl, and it backfired on you.
Exactly. I did these weird Korean laws.
Next time you go, you need to go full Roman. So.
Oh yeah.
There's just no shaving. Fuck that.
Yeah.
No manscaping.
Yeah.
She loves you. Oh man. Compared to what she's getting, she was probably the highest hot trotting woman there.
Oh, man.
Compared to all those other girls, huh?
So, yes, it was definitely
I wonder if they thought you were a soldier. They probably
100%. I mean, like,
Yeah, they
there's
probably
no
thought you were a
questions asked.
soldier. They probably thought you were like somebody because you have muscle definition. Your hair is still short enough that's a military cut.
Yeah.
My squad leader had the same haircut. And he was losing his hair, so when he would get mad it would pop up.
Nice.
So he had the exact same haircut though, but you're not losing your hair to the extent that he was or I have. So yeah, no. And you have a beard, so you might seem like reconnaissance or something.
Yeah.
You can get away with shit like
It
that.
was funny when I was in Israel twice. Like, some people were like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "Oh, I'm just a tourist." They're like, "You're not in the military?" And I was like, "No." And they're like, "Sure."
You do look Jewish. 100%, yeah.
Yeah.
You look like a big Jew.
Exactly.
You look like the bear Jew.
Bear Jew.
Yeah.
There's a little bear Jew in there. I can see it.
Oh, man.
He's the bear Jew.
Oh,
That's
God,
funny.
but Korea is fucking amazing. Like, put it on your list. It is well worth it.
Yeah,
I
would love
definitely want to
go.
get over there.
And
Hopefully,
get over there fast. Yeah, because literally they cut because I had a
Like a day or two after you get back, they shoot a missile off.
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
They shot some guy in the DMZ when you were there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
did shoot the guy on the DMZ while you were there, right?
Yeah. So
Fantastic.
I had booked
Proper
an appointment
tourist
to
experience.
go to the DMZ, and they're like, no, fuck, no, you're not doing that. I was like, I can't argue with that statement. So,
No, you can't.
The guy just
They-
ran across in a Jeep and got shot 5 times and then
Yeah.
pulled out by the fucking special forces.
I love this shit. Like, so we went on a hike, and we get to the top of the summit. I nearly freeze to death, but we get to the summit, and we start hearing loud fucking bangs. And I've heard loud fucking bangs in my life, and I know I'm like, that's not a fucking car, that's not a gun.
It's like pepper, pop, 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 kind of like that.
Well, no, it'd be like two or three back to back, and then like silence, and then like 2 or 3 minutes
Were
later.
they pops or thuds?
thuds?
Thuds or explosions?
Yes.
100%.
So I was like, ha ha ha.
Somebody's shooting off the big shit.
Well, they're probably doing like artillery marksmanship or something.
So I was like, haha, this is funny, you know. What was this fucking North Korea? And she was like, no, don't worry. I would get a text message if something was happening. Ha ha ha. I was like, and she was like, oh, I don't have service right now. I was like,
Oh,
fucking
fuck.
shit. And I was like, well, we're at the top of the summit. The sun's going down. I'm about to freeze.
What do you have to freak out about? Come on.
Well,
Like,
that's my
God
point.
damn it.
That was my point. I was like, I can't do anything now. Like,
No, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You're
so
done.
I
Just
was-
try and get back.
Yeah.
That's all you could
That
do.
was a 6-hour hike up there. It was a 5-hour hike
That's a fucking
down.
long hike,
It
bro.
was,
That's-
I'll send you the
that's
fucking,
long.
I will send you the I got fucking it well over my head. That shit, and I carried the bag, so I had the tent and all that. I had about
Oh, you stayed the night on the mountain?
yeah,
That's awesome. Cold as fuck, huh?
cold as fuck. Like I knew I was in trouble when I stopped shivering. I was like, "That's
But they have brown bears in Korea, too.
what?
They have grizzly bears in Korea.
You're shitting me."
No, it's
Aren't the
fucking
brown
Siberia.
ones the
Like I kept asking her, I was like, "Oh, because we kept the food in the
There's-
tent,"
there's-
and I'm like, "I'm not used to that because of bears."
There's grizzly bears in Japan.
brown ones are the ones that'll
Yes.
fucking kill you, right?
Yeah, brown bears are all the same. There's Kodiak, brown, grizzly. They're all the same. They're all just in subgroups. Some are bigger than others.
It's like what black ones do. What black fight back, brown lay down, white you're completely fucked.
Yeah, white
Yeah,
just will murder you for the fun of it. They need your fat. They're gonna eat you. Brown bear will kill you because it's defensive and doesn't take shit. Black bear will fight you, but you can most likely scare it off. It's like a big dog.
yeah.
Like black bears, there's only been like 2 recorded deaths in the United States in the last 20 years by black bears.
Yeah.
You can they're like deer. If you frighten them, they'll run away.
Yeah, I had a,
It's
I had
usually more of
black
a
bear encounter.
they'll attack
I-
if surprised
I
or
had
something.
one,
It fell off a tree and I just fucking ran.
like that's not what you're supposed to do.
What happened?
So I was.
You're supposed to stay to ground.
Yeah, me and her, we were like walking, and we heard some like shit ruffling in the
Oh, okay.
on the tree, and we both look over there, and we just see this black huge thing fall on the ground.
Oh Jesus
And I
Christ!
was like, oh, she takes her fucking phone out and starts like wandering that way to take a picture. I'm like, yo, we gotta get the fuck out of here now before the dogs realize it, because my dog would fuck with it. I mean, no.
You took your dog to Korea?
No, this was in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, she was getting her phone out. I was like, no, we gotta fucking go. So before these dogs decide, oh, what kind of dog is this?
American black bears will charge you, but they'll stop.
Do you see that video on Reddit yesterday?
I seen this old.
There was a guy that was bow hunting. It's
Oh yeah,
it's
and
the
it
biggest. Like,
Charged him.
he
and
was popped up out of the bushes and went to shoot, and then lost his arrow and didn't shoot, and then the bear. He just surprised the shit out of the bear, and he saw him, and he
the bear
charged him and
charged
knocked him to the ground.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the guy survived.
Yeah, no, the bear will run off after that. They don't expect you to stand your ground.
It was more of an
It's
intimidation,
an
surprise
intimidation
type
if,
thing.
If they actually engage in a fight with you, they'll mostly leave. They're like dogs. They're like big dogs. They're both canids. They're both in the same
okay.
family, but they're distant, really related, mind you. But they are both canids. Like, so they will run away. Black bears will run away unless they have cubs. If it has cubs, you're probably fucked. Outside of that, they will run away. I was doing the approach trail for the Appalachian Trail. I think it's like 10 miles or 8 miles out, 8 miles back. It was a pain in the dick. And I had a 60-pound pack on. I did it.
Jeez.
When I did it, we saw a bear, and it just... all we saw was its ass, because that's the only reason we saw it, because it was running away. Like, they don't, the black bears don't stick around. They'll run. And when we went hunting, it was me and Charlie out in the woods, and we had 2 rifles and 2 pistols. and we're sleeping in hammocks, and everybody was like, "Aren't you scared of bears?" And I'm like, "No, we're the fucking deadliest goddamn thing in these woods. What are we gonna fucking shoot a black bear or a deer? They don't give a fuck about us."
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have real food, so they don't give a shit. We've got that crappy camping food, and if you eat all of it, they're fucked.
Yeah.
You just put your food out away from camp while you sleep.
Yeah.
So
You don't put the food in your tent.
No, you put the food somewhere else.
All right,
Yeah.
and we weren't in tents, we were in hammocks. And
Yeah.
we were so far from North Georgia, it was more West Georgia. I didn't hear a possum or even a raccoon that night.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, those are the first things to show up if you got food.
Yeah.
Not bears. But, no, there was nothing in those woods. I have been to Springer Mountain, and I have stayed at night on Springer Mountain, and that area is so heavily trafficked, there's always people with food out there, and no matter where you sleep on the top of that mountain, there will be handfuls of black bears outside. You could hear them trying to get to the ropes where you raise your food up. It was very disconcerting. That, we never saw the bears, but we heard them all night. You can hear them, like, woof, woof, woof. They make, like, woof noises, and they breathe really heavy.
That would scare the shit.
Yeah, it's terrifying, but you know they're not
Attack of
fucking with
Harvey
you
Weinstein's.
because they're only there for the food. They don't give a fuck about you. They're there for the
Yeah.
food that's up in the hammock.
Because they don't have to deal with any confrontation with food hanging.
No. If there's food in the open hanging above them, all they have to do is get in a tree.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if you look at videos online, you can see bears trying to get food in trees.
Yeah.
Like, it's common. It's like a squirrel trying to get bird food.
That's why they keep getting caught in trash cans and shit.
Yeah, exactly. They're junk foodies. They fucking love junk food.
Well, that makes sense. They're scavengers like a fucking dog.
They are. They're more scavengers than anything else. They're
Yeah.
scavengers like, I would say more like raccoons, because they're not very good hunters. They're huge. They're lumbering idiots. They can go 30 miles an hour like a dog, but, I mean, I've never seen a bear kill anything bigger than a salmon on TV, for fuck's sake. Have you? No, you've not.
I don't consider polar bears
Polar
in
bears,
this
I'm thinking
discussion.
That's
grizzly
completely
bears.
different,
Yeah,
dude. They will
yeah.
stalk you and murder you.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of grizzly
Yeah,
bears.
like, yeah, exactly. They go
Grizzly
for
bears,
salmon.
black bears.
Yeah.
They don't hunt deer or anything. They'll eat one if it dies.
Yeah.
Or if a wolf will drag it down. But they're built scavengers.
Mm-hmm.
But wolves will actually take shit down. I watched a video of a coyote taking down a deer the other day.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
coyotes.
impressive.
They'll take down baby deer. 30 pounds, they
okay.
fucking take them down. But no, bears. There are brown bears in Korea because it's basically the right edge of fucking Siberia.
That makes sense.
Right where Siberia butts up to another edge of civilization. So there's gotta be brown bears.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Siberian brown bears. I don't remember what the fuck they're called. They have a different name.
Well, yeah, the fucking Russian thing is a bear. The Russian symbol.
The Russian symbol is a brown bear, yeah.
Yeah.
But there is a specific name for Siberian brown bears, and I don't remember what it's fucking called.
It's probably something.
It's probably
Is
Siberian.
it Misha?
I don't know.
I think it's.
Misha might be bear,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Misha's bear in Russian.
possibly.
Yeah.
Watch it be Dick, and
Dick.
A Russian will correct us.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I would not. That's the thing that worries me about going to the West Coast and going camping is brown bears. There's videos online of people who like stumble across them in their camp, and they're like, "Hey, we're taking video of a brown bear," and then you find out, oh, they were murdered that day.
Yeah.
100% murdered, and fucking nobody survived. And the only reason the fucking
fuck,
video,
yeah.
you remember that video?
I remember
That
the
happened in
video.
Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like a family's like just videoing the brown bear, thinking it's.
They were at a
just-
campsite
yeah.
at a hunting site where they go camping and hunting. And there was,
Brown
like,
bear is death.
Yeah, brown bears equal death. And there was like 4 or 5 of them there. Man, bear encounters are a binary moment. You live or die.
Yeah.
And that's it. So, like, it's not just going to come and mess with you and be like, just kidding. Just fucking kidding with you. I'm out of here. No, they're going to fucking murder you if it's a brown bear. So, it's just nuts, man. I imagine a polar bear is the same way. If you're out there and it's hungry, you're fucked. You're not getting away
I was
from polar
reading
bear.
something. It was from a documentary where basically it talked about people that live in the Arctic. That there's like the one crazy guy that hunts polar bears, and basically they said, "How do you hunt a polar bear?" And he's like, "It's the easiest thing in the world." He said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, you need a massive fucking rifle. and then you just go to polar bear land and start walking.
Because it will find you.
He said they find you. He said they will smell you and hear you from fucking miles away, long before you can ever know them. Said the only way you hunt them is you just go walk. Said do not fucking stop. Keep moving and keep your eyes behind you. He said because the bear will find you and it will stalk you, and then at that moment you have to kill it before it kills you.
Jesus, that's terrifying.
That's how you hunt polar bears.
I can't
you
imagine
take
doing that at
basically a tank-sized rifle out and just start walking and never stop.
I can't imagine doing that.
And because they stalk you, and then when they're on their murder approach, it's you and them.
That's fucking. Let's do it, boys.
And that was the one guy, and the rest of the village is like, no, fuck that. I'll eat Spam.
We'll get
I'll keep
PMGs.
spamming my
Take
Spam
them
and
out
rice.
into the Arctic Circle and see who comes out alive.
That's basically how you hunt a polar bear, according to the
I'm
documentary.
not telling anybody about it because I'm gonna go back there. Holy fuck! It's like Steven Riddell.
That's some hard shit though. But yeah, I mean that's kind of the difference with bears. The black bears, they'll fuck you up if they have babies or if you scare them, but they're not interested in killing you.
And brown bears,
they'll fuck your world.
Yeah,
they will fuck your world. And then the polar bears, you are their fucking that. Their survival depends on them eating you.
Yeah, and they're hyper carnivores. They're not like brown bears. They don't eat twigs and berries.
No, they eat meat.
They're hyper carnivores. They eat only meat. So that's it. That's it for a fucking polar bear. Is you are its outlet. You are its outlet. It doesn't give a fuck. It does not discriminate against you and a fatty seal. Either way, you're getting fucking eaten, and you're probably getting eaten that day. And that's everything of you is getting eaten that day.
How the fuck did Eskimos survive that?
I don't know.
Like,
I think
Jesus.
that
Big balls.
Like,
Big fucking balls.
Like the Inuit and all them up there.
Yeah.
I think that they probably. I mean, there used to be a bigger bear than grizzly bears. You know this, right?
Yeah.
Called cave bears.
Jeez.
And we made cave bears extinct because we killed them to live in their caves. The European cave bear, look it up. That was an animal that existed like the same time that humans came to Europe and Neanderthals existed, and we killed and ate all of them. The cave bear is gone. It was the largest bear in existence.
Jeez.
It was like 2 or 3 times the size of a goddamn grizzly bear. Let me see if I can't pull up a fake picture of one.
So that I now understand how like dragons are like put into like the human psyche. It's because it was probably just fucking cave bears.
Cave bears, like.
Jeez.
So there's
That's fucking nightmare.
So when it's on all fours, it's 6 feet tall, and when it stands up, it's 10, 12.
It's 13. This is 3. 13. It's above 6, right? Because 1.
So it's almost 7 feet tall on all fours.
And its claw is as big as the guy's arm.
Yeah, cave bears were enormous. So they were huge. They usually have pictures that compare them to like normal bears. But let me see. They might have one. They were essentially like twice the size as grizzly bears.
So how do you kill that?
You
20 people with spears, and you
20 people with spears, or you back it off of a cliff.
20 people with spears. Probably 15 comes back after the incursion.
Yeah.
Like fucking Jimmy.
Oh shit! There's a bigger one called the short-faced bear. Jesus, but the short-faced bear, if I remember correctly, was like an open field hunter. It was way faster. It had bigger. It could move quicker.
Yeah.
That one was recently found.
Like a nomadic bear. These are all just like.
But cave bears were fucking enormous, man. They were huge. So we killed and ate all of them, and then took their living places, and that was it. We lived in their caves, and then a lot of the places where they found cave paintings, they also found like cave bear bones.
No,
Like we ate those motherfuckers. And people eat bear now and they say it tastes pretty good. You just have to cook it all the way.
You gotta, yeah.
Because you get
My understanding,
trichinosis
if
really
the
bad.
bear lives anywhere near human beings, then it will usually have a contaminated food or water source that will lead to parasites in the meat.
Or
And
beavers.
if you eat those if you
Beavers
eat the
can
meat
too,
and get those parasites in you, they basically go and embed themselves in your muscles and like sit dormant for years. I always learned this because some kid on Reddit ate. It was they were talking about the bear thing, and they mentioned don't eat bear meat for this, or if they live near people, be careful with the bear meat.
Yeah.
Because if you eat it, this could happen. And somebody in the comments was like, "Oh my god, I think this happening," but it was like seriously started telling us symptoms and had to go to the doctor. But I mean, he didn't die or anything. But Basically what the gist of the medical explanation is that if the bear lives near humans or within a proximity, food or water gets contaminated, contains parasites that get in their muscles with the meat. If you eat it and it's not completely cooked and killed and everything at a certain temperature, it will basically, as soon as that meat hits your stomach, the parasites come out, go through your stomach wall into your body.
Yeah.
Sit for a couple years dormant, and then they just basically wake up and then burrow out of your body.
Nice.
It's fucking disgusting.
That sounds terrible.
That's the thing with bear meat. But the good news is it's easy to detect because it's like cysts and kind of marbly in the meat. It's not like, if it's there, you're going to have a pretty good chance of knowing. You'll see it.
You see it in amberjack too. All the parasites like clump near the amberjack's tail at the tip, like down at the base of the tail. And they have to cut those off. It's just like worms and shit. It's like all worms go to a specific place. Like, dog heartworm goes to their heart and kills it. If cats get dog heartworm, it goes to their lungs and they cough them out. Because the worms don't know fucking where to go.
Yeah.
If fucking for the amberjack, it all goes to its tail, and it lives in its tail, the knot at the end of its tail. I don't know why, but that's what it does. Anyway, you can get trichinosis. And for beavers shit can cause another one. I don't remember what disease that is, but you can't drink you cannot drink water downriver from a beaver without cleaning it, or you will get very, very sick. You'll get beaver poison. So there's that and trichinosis. And what's his name? Steve Ranella said he's like, make sure you cook that shit all the way through. I've had trichinosis. You do not fucking want trichinosis. Yeah. So I imagine it's fucking terrible. It sucks ass.
Well, I mean, the kid on Reddit that ate the contaminated bear meat, he said it was fucking miserable. He said it wasn't straight food poisoning, like he was vomiting, but when he ate, as soon as he ate his meal, like 2 hours later, it was like a 72-hour process. He said he didn't even leave the bed. He was like in bed crying with like the most intense stomach pain he's ever felt in his life, and then it just stopped. Said, but what that was the parasites burrowing through his stomach lining into the rest of the other parts of his body.
Oh, fucking terrifying.
That was the pain. It's fucked. So, kids, don't eat bear meat unless you have to.
Unless it's cooked all the way.
And make sure that what you're eating is clean source.
Yeah. Wood bear, probably not too bad, but I wouldn't put it
I'm not going to say the meat's bad, but be careful.
Well, they can clear hundreds of miles fucking in a week or so. I wouldn't put it past a bear to visit somebody's garbage can and go back into the woods, to be honest.
Oh, entirely possible.
Yeah,
probably likely, actually. I mean,
very highly likely, but I'm not out there to get bear. I'm out there to get deer, and deer doesn't eat garbage, so we should be good. So, I mean, if I come across a bear, will I shoot it? Fuck yeah, I'll shoot it. But I haven't seen one, and they're more elusive than deer are, so you actually have to hunt.
And in Georgia, it's really only black bear, and they're gonna take off before
there's
you
no
get close.
Brown bear until like fucking Utah, man. We killed all of them over here. There was brown bear like all the way up to the Smoky Mountains or whatever, and we fucking murdered all of them. You hear the stories of like Lewis and Clark when they were going out. They're like, we would put 3 musket balls in them and they wouldn't go down. Like they would fucking shoot the hell out of bears and you couldn't put them down. Those brown bears. So it took a shit ton of work to put a brown bear down. Probably meant fucking tree stand or something. But brown bears can climb trees too. Oh, that's an old myth that bears can't climb trees.
Oh, fuck yeah, they can.
Bears can climb trees.
Or they just push the tree down.
Let's just say, with those claws and that much muscle, they can get there.
If you're fighting a meat eater, they are smart.
Yeah.
The animals that are not smart are the ones that don't have to think about what they're going to kill. They just eat it.
Yeah, being a predatory animal makes you smarter.
It makes you very smart. So they're going to know of ways to fucking murder you if you get in a predicament because it's been there before. Yeah. It's gotten that squirrel. It's gotten that squirrel or whatever it was that pissed it off. So, I mean, it's just nuts, man. Anyway, it's 9:10. I know that Nate's got to jet home to get to his dog, and we've lost a member for the night. So let's call it. We'll be back next week. Hopefully we won't have any more hiatuses that we don't tell you guys about. But this last couple of weeks, I've been super sick and still am coughing. So hopefully
work's
soon,
been crazy too, and had the Thanksgiving holiday with a bunch of stuff going on.
So over the next couple of weeks, we should be if we're spotty, we'll let you know ahead of time. Have a good evening. I'm James.
I'm Brett.
This is Nate.
Have a good night.
Y'all have a good night. We'll see you next week.
No Tact Podcast.